let's make this batwing top. This is a very cute and stylish top that you can rock on pants or on skirts. Now, I particularly love this top because it's very flattery and it can cover my Christian mother arms. So if you've got Christian mother arms like me, this is just the right top for you. Okay, so without saying so much, let's get right into it. So as usual, we will need our bodice block, the front and the back bodice block, and then you're going to trace your front block on the paper like this. You're going to trace it up to the small hip, because this top is more like a crop top, so it doesn't go down to, yes, it doesn't go below the small hip line. And then you mirror it and then trace out this other part. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do would be for us to determine the width of the band. So it could be about 5 cm or about 7 cm. It really depends on what you want. So from here, you're going to measure from your waistline here downwards the width of your band. So I'm using 7 cm. So from my waistline below, I'm marking 7 cm. So I'm going to connect all the points together in a straight line. Okay, so we don't need this part anymore. Okay, so I'm also going to trim off the waistband. Okay, so let me set this aside. This is my center front, and because the waistband does not have a dart, so we're just going to cut off the dart, overlap it, so we can have a waistband without dart. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing for the other side. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside and then continue with the front part. So for this part, the first thing we're going to do is you are going to measure from your neck tip here. You are going to measure, say, about 5 cm. Okay, and then you're going to connect this point to your dart tip. Just like so. Okay, now we are going to trim off this other part because we would not need it anymore. Remember that this top is a cross top, or it overlaps in front, so that's why we are trimming off this other part. Now the next thing would be for us to close the shoulder dart, because we don't need a shoulder dart on this top. So to do that, I'm just going to extend my waist dart to my dart tip here, my bust point there. And then I'm just going to cut on one leg of my waist dart like so, and cut on one leg of my shoulder dart to remove it. So once you overlap this, you will notice that the value of this dart has actually been moved to this part. So if your shoulder tip here is a little bit wonky, you just have to straighten it. And then we can already cut off this other dart here, this waist dart, so we can see the opening. Okay, now if you see your opening here, this part here, this part is going to be gathered, but if this part should be just about, for me, I have just about 6 cm. so it's really not enough to be gathered. So we're going to add to it, and the best place to add to it is on the side seam. So you just measure from the side seam. You can add, say, about 5 cm or about 7 cm to it. Okay, so from here to here should be about 5 cm or 7 cm. All right, and then you're going to extend your shoulder line here to create the batwing top. So from your shoulder seam here, or from your shoulder tip rather, you're going to measure about 25 cm. Now it could be more than this, it could be up to 30 cm. It really depends on you. And then you're going to connect this point and this point together using your French curve. Good, just like so. Now we're going to trim off the excess paper, and once we trim off the excess paper, this is really the pattern making for the front part. Easy peasy, right? Now if you're enjoying this tutorial, please do not hesitate to subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Okay, please subscribe and then share this video as well, so that other sewing colleagues can also learn from this. We don't want to learn alone, right? The more the merrier. Okay, and then please leave a comment for me below so that I'll know what you think. All right, so you place a notch here so that you will know. We're going to need that notch later on. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always returning. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to set this one now aside. We're now going to work on the back side. So before then, let me already write center front here so we don't get confused. Now for the back side, you're also going to trace out the back bodice block. Okay, but you're just going to trace out just one side of it, and then you're also going to create your waist, the band. So you measure from your waistline 7 cm down like so. And then you connect all your points together. So to finish off the back side, we are going to ignore these darts. These darts, just take note of the value of the dart. Here, the value of the dart here is just 1 cm. So I'm just going to ignore this dart and add the value to the length of my batwing. So for the front, remember I did 25 cm from here downwards, 25 cm. So for this one, instead of doing 25 cm, I'm going to do 24 cm. The reason is because the value of this dart here is 1 cm. I hope you get. So I'm just going to place my meter rule like this and measure 24 cm instead of 25 cm. At the end, it's going to be exactly the same thing, because this value here we add to it and make it 25 cm. And then here on the waistline, remember we also added about 5 cm. So you're going to add it to yours as well from here to here. And then you're going to connect these together using your French curve. Okay, and then for the neckline, we are just going to also take off. From here, we measured 5 cm for the front, so we're going to do exactly the same thing. And then we are going to drop the neckline here about 2 cm. And we're going to connect them together using our French curve. So you're just going to connect these points like so. Easy peasy. So now I'm just going to to cut off the or trim off the excess paper. So this is our center back, and this is going to be cut 2 pieces. And then our center front is also going to be cut 2 pieces. So that means that before placing it on your fabric to cut it, you're going to add your seam allowance all around, 1.5 cm seam allowance all around. Now the only thing we need to do now is our it's not really a waistband, it's actually a belt. So we're going to do our belt. All right, so this one here is for the front. This is for the front, and then this one here is for the back without the dart. Remember, we're going to gather the dart and we're going to gather this part. So now I'm going to cut a long rectangular piece of paper, long enough to go around with the same width, 7 cm, long enough to go around and be able to tie a bow at the back. So I'm going to cut a long rectangular piece and then I will show it to you. Okay, so here's my long rectangular piece. I've already cut it. So now I'm just going to fold it into 2 equal halves. The length of this rectangular piece is about 200 cm. You could make yours even longer, it depends on you. Okay, now I just folded it into 2 equal halves, and then I'm just going to draw a line here. So this is going to be my center front. Okay, so now this is my center front, and this is the center front of my waistband. So I'm just placing it like that. So that means that my waistband originally is supposed to end here. So you just give it a notch here, and then on this other side, if I place the center front against the center front, then the other part is going to end here. I hope you understand what I'm doing. This is for us to be able to control our gathers, because by the time I place this here like this on the center front, so all this other part will be gathered, and then we'll have to join this side seam to this place here. You get it, right? So that's where I'm putting these notches. So the other center the other front part will end here. Now I'm going to take the back waistband. So this is the side seam for the back waistband. If I place it like this, it means that the back side is going to end here. Okay, you place another notch there. Then if you come here, then so you place this one here like this. So the other back side is going to end, place it nicely, it's going to end somewhere here. Okay, good. So these notches are important to help us control the gathers. I hope you get it. So before we actually place our patterns on our fabric, I just remember that we need to remove a little bit from the front side to prevent it from gaping. You see this cross front here? We need to remove about 1 cm or about 1.5 cm so that our neckline does not gape. So you're just going to draw a random straight line from here all the way to the dart tip here, and then you're going to measure out, say, about 1 cm. 1 cm is okay, and then you connect it in form of a dart like so. Okay, and then we're going to cut one leg of it all the way to the dart tip and then overlap it nicely. This is just for us to prevent it from gaping. So always remember to do this step. Okay, good. So this way our neckline here is not going to gape. All right, okay. So now I'm just going to place my patterns on my fabric and then cut them out. All right.